I'm trying to figure out, how did my iPhone 7 Plus go from feeling brand new to mad old in like less than 2 hours? Technology, man. So that was one of the many statements that I got from my friends in response to this keynote. Like, it was that real. But the real question here is, did they deliver to the anticipations that everyone had for this event? Let's talk. So Apple started their keynote with the Apple Watch, but in my keynote recap, I am going to be starting with the iPhone because, let's face it, we all know that is the real star of the show here. So Apple introduced 3 new phones to their lineup: the iPhone 8, the iPhone 8 Plus, and the iPhone X. So you can basically look at the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus as you would an iPhone 7S and 7S Plus, because that's kind of what it is. Kinda. So on the screen right now are all the new things about the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. So you can pause it here and read it, but for those of you who care for a little bit more than a list, I got you. So inside you're going to find an A11 Bionic chip, which is of course faster than the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. The displays between the 8 models and 7 models are pretty much the same as well, down to the pixel resolution, except the iPhone 8 models have something known as a true tone display. So this is really good for like photographers, graphic designers, anybody that needs the most accurate colors possible on an iPhone. This is going to give you that. The iPhone 8 models also have the same water and dust resistance as the iPhone 7 models. The cameras are even the same megapixel wise, but the iPhone 8 has something known as True Tone Flash with slow sync. So for those of you hoping for portrait mode on the iPhone 8, you still don't have it. You have to get the Plus models to get portrait mode. Battery life is pretty much also the same, except the iPhone 8 models now have the capability to wirelessly charge. And it falls under the umbrella of Qi charging, which to me was a really good move on Apple's part, because it's basically them updating their hardware to work with pre-existing wireless chargers. So now when you're at Starbucks or, your local businesses and things like that that have wireless charging, you can slap your devices up there just like an Android user would. And Android users, not a word. We know you have had this for years. Don't be bitter. But now iPhone users have it too. Now the other feature that iPhone 8 models have is fast charging, so you can get up to like a 50% charge in 30 minutes. Now the wireless charging feature is made possible because the iPhone 8 models now have a glass back, so design wise that is the pretty much significant difference between the 8 and the 7, in addition to a new color option that is actually exclusive only to the iPhone 8 models because it's not offered in the iPhone X or any other models, and that is the new gold, which looks a lot like a soft pink, but it's called gold. I guess it's one of those things you have to see in person to really appreciate and understand. I don't know. But size-wise, the iPhone 8 models and 7 models are the same. Now, the other phone, the iPhone X or iPhone 10. If I've been calling it the iPhone X up until this point, my apologies. I meant the iPhone 10, but nonetheless, you know what I'm talking about. The display of it is a little bit bigger than the iPhone 7 Plus because it is 5.8 inches versus 5.5. It also has a Super Retina screen that dazzles all the eyes with a curved display and elegant rounded corners. Ooh. Now, to me, one of the cool things here is the fact that it does have a larger display than the iPhone 7 Plus, but it managed to fit that in a smaller phone. So height-wise, it's 5.65 inches versus the iPhone 7 Plus, which comes in at 6.23 inches. And it's slimmer as well, as it's 2.79 inches versus 3.7 inches. So that definitely sounds like a noticeable difference here to me. And a nice one too, because it's pretty nice to have a bigger display in a smaller package. Plus on top of that, the display also is OLED versus the typical Retina HD. It also has more pixels and True Tone, but the same fingerprint resistant coating and brightness as the 8 and the iPhone 7. But one thing it does not have is a home button. I personally don't know how I feel about this because now you pretty much have to rely on unlocking your phone using a technology known as Face ID. So the phone is going to scan your face to unlock your phone. Or are you, Lord forbid, typing your passcode? So basically now you unlock your phone by swiping up from the bottom of your screen. It scans your face and that's it. So I know rumors stated that Apple was going to get rid of the home button and place it on the back and things like that, but nah. Apple said, out of here. They got rid of that home button altogether. They didn't place it anywhere else. That thing is gone. It's gone. You still have the 12 megapixel camera like that on the 8 and the 7, but the improvements have been made elsewhere. So the telephoto photo aperture is a bit lower at 2.4, and you also have portrait mode for the front and rear facing cameras, plus a new feature known as portrait lighting. And the front camera also goes by a new name, which is the true depth camera. And that's going to allow you to take advantage of not only the Face ID option, but also of things like Animojis, where it can actually analyze more than 50 different muscle movements to mirror your expressions in 12 different emojis. And you can record your voice to send it in a message as well, so that you have this little caricature, so to speak, reenacting you. Wireless and fast charging are still present in this model as well, and the battery life is a little bit longer than the iPhone 7, but it is still about the same as the 7 Plus and 8 Plus models. And of course, because you have that wireless charging feature up here, you're going to have the glass back as well, but the difference here is you have stainless steel sides, so that's going to alter the look of things a little bit more. Color choice wise, you just have two, which is space gray and silver, which really kind of looks like black and white. I don't know. And just like the iPhone 8, inside of this you have the A11 Bionic chip, which is going to be super fast for gaming and also great to power through the new things that Apple's introducing, like augmented reality, which will be hitting devices with iOS 11. Something else I noticed is that it looks like we're going to have a new case option as well, with the leather folio case, which seems to be exclusive to the iPhone X. I don't know, there wasn't much talk around this. I just happened to see it in a picture, kind of looked and did a little bit of searching and found what you see right here. So I'm really interested to see what this is going to look like in person. So my thoughts. I like all of the new models that are dropping, but my attention is pretty much on that iPhone X. Like probably a lot of you out there. Let me know down below in the comment section which, if any of these, you are eyeing. Granted, it's probably the most expensive phone to date, but I don't know, I just like the design and I love the photo features that are offered in it. It's the technology behind it that really kind of appeals to me. I'm still a little bit at the look of the display with the gap at the top to accommodate all the sensors and things that had to be placed in there. But with the accuracy of these leaks, it was a design choice that we were pretty much all aware of and expected, so it gave us time to accept it. But it's not enough to dismiss this as being my future daily driver. The one thing though I am concerned about is the responsiveness of Face ID. Now, I was a little bit apprehensive about Touch ID when it first rolled out, and I guess I'm kind of the same way with Face ID, because in using like this feature on things like the Galaxy device, I know it felt like I had to get like the right angle for it to be able to scan my face. So hopefully this isn't the same on Apple's end, because they did state that they have, all these tests and different technologies placed within the phone to get the depth perception of your face, and even have the capability to recognize your face as it changes if you have glasses. For my men out there, if you get facial hair, ladies out there, if you change your hair, Face ID is supposed to be so advanced that it can still scan your face despite these things. I don't know, call me comfortable, but I would just love to have the option to fall back on Touch ID if Face ID isn't scanning or unlocking rather my phone the way I would want it to. Because once again, with Galaxy devices, you can enable Face ID and the fingerprint reader, so that pretty much whichever one scans you the fastest will get you into your phone. But with Face ID on Apple's end, it's either it scans your face or you swipe your finger up, type your passcode. But the messages I got from my friends in regards to the new iPhone had me like cracking up.
In 2 hours, this phone went from a Nintendo Switch to a Nintendo 64 old. What am I supposed to do with this old phone? You expect me to use this thing in public? I have a 3GS in my hand now. I saw it all and did not do any work after 1 p.m. watching that mess.
But I'm interested to know the reactions of you all, so let me know your thoughts on what Apple unveiled today down below in the comment section. Are you copping a phone? Are you disappointed? Did they miss a feature that you wanted? I'd love to hear your opinion on things. The other thing that I'm a little iffy on is Animojis. Like, it sounds cool, but I'm trying to figure out, is this more of like a gimmick kind of thing for me or a feature? Like, is it just going to be that one thing that I use to kind of do something cool to show off, or am I actually going to start incorporating that in the way that I communicate with people. So I say this largely because when I first heard about 3D touch and live photos, I thought I was going to be using it all the time. But then when I actually got my phone with these features, I barely use them. Like, people will send me photos and sometimes live photos is on, but when I'm around other people, I never really see anybody using 3D touch to access anything. And I just hope that Animojis doesn't kind of fall under that umbrella where it sounds cool, but then I don't use it, you know. But I'm super excited about the camera on the iPhone X and having these different, you know, studio lighting conditions and things like that. So the upgrades on the camera really piqued my interest. I think the design overall looks good. Between the two color options, I'm probably going to go with that space gray. I'm super excited about having the option to wireless charge because I have wireless chargers and I've been places that offer wireless charging, so it's really nice to now be able to use my iPhone on those things without the use of an adapter or anything like that. Plus, if you're like me and you have other devices that aren't iPhones and have wireless charging, you can now just use them all on the same charger. So yeah, that's going to be pretty smooth. I will probably do some more coverage on these things before the phones actually get in my hand, as I will be doing a review. So if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so, because I will be covering the iPhone X and the iPhone 8 or 8 Plus, one of the two. Nonetheless, hit that subscribe button so you can stay updated. Hit the like button, because if you made it this far, I got a strong feeling you probably liked the video. And as always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out.